How do rich people use debt to build wealth? That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm your co-host HT,
I'm CD Barnes.
and this is Hustlers, where we help you prepare to prosper. Now, today we're going to be talking about how rich people use debt to build wealth. The key point with this topic is that rich people use debt to buy assets. Okay, buying assets like purchasing a house. Now, sometimes a house can be a liability. Most times it can be a an asset. Okay, so rich people use debt to build wealth by buying assets, right? You're taking on that debt so that you can buy something that's going to put money into your pocket. All right. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. This is critical. Most people don't understand this. Other point to this is that a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. And this is why I just said a house can sometimes be an asset or a liability. All right. So
Right.
a house, if it's putting money in your pocket, i.e., if you're using it as a rental property, it is an asset. Okay. If that house, you're just living in it, it's probably a liability. Now, the argument can be made that in the future you could sell the house, the value goes up, yada, yada, yada. We get that. But in general, an asset is anything that puts money into your pocket, and liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Rich people use assets or buy assets with debt, right? You go to the bank, get a loan, and you're using that asset to put money into your pocket. CD, what's the
Yep.
second part to this?
Next up is the mindset around debt in general, right? Rich people are borrowing to invest, and middle class or poor people are borrowing to consume. You're
Mm,
borrowing money to take a vacation, you're borrowing money to go out to dinner. You're borrowing money to consume things. Meanwhile, rich people are borrowing to make investments in assets, like H was just saying, these things that are going to actually generate more cash flow, right? The next thing is the tax deductible debt, right? Using those same assets as leverage to be able to borrow against. Instead of borrowing actual cash, you borrow against your debt and use the new acquired debt to make your purchases. And that
right,
way, it's not taxable versus you taking money straight out of your business, spending that money. That's actual taxable income at that point in time. But if you're using your newly acquired assets and using those as leverage to borrow against those things, or using your business to borrow against that, and then you're spending debt, which is not taxable. So that's the other way, right? Borrowing against your assets, and then that way it's not taxable. So borrowing against the assets, not selling them.
right. Yeah, and one I can't remember who said this, and I've heard it said many times, but one way to look at it, or one way to approach it is that anytime you want to buy something, right? Anytime you want to buy something, especially if it's major, like a car or a house or something like that, a toy, a boat, RV, or four wheeler, dirt bike, something, some pricey toy. Um, do one little side step, okay? And that side step is go and create an asset. Okay. So you may want a car, and let's say the car costs $50,000, right? So instead of just going right out and buying that car, you say, hold on, let me go and create an asset first. All right. So put the desire to the side, you know, the desire to buy it right there in that moment, right? Put that to the side and say, before I do this, I'm going to go and create an asset first. And that asset needs to be able to produce either $50,000 or enough to cover however much that car note would be. See what I'm saying? So that's one little side step and one little way to create it. And guess what? Once it's paid off, that asset is still working. Right now, it takes work. It's not little as I made it sound, but um if you will just do this one small step before you take on a liability, right? I.e., in creating that asset, you'll see wonders, right? And now you can take on debt to create that asset. You see what I'm saying? So, but the key to it is that an asset is going to put money into your pocket. Then you can go on and get whatever that you want to buy, whether it's a bag or some new shoes or whatever it is. Create an asset first. Okay. Anything else, bro?
Yep. Just remember, treat debt like a tool. It's not good. It's not bad, right? It's simply about understanding the tool and being disciplined on how you're using it, right? There are a lot of tools that we know about. A saw could be deadly, but it's also beneficial when it's used in the right hands. Debt is the same way. You can ruin yourself financially with debt, or you can build wealth using debt, as long as you're using it wisely as well. So just keep
Sure.
that in mind. Use it like a tool.
Yeah, and find us over at school.com/League of Hustlers. We have a community now, right? We have a course on there, Dream Stream Strategy. We have tools on there to help you, right? Manage your budget, to help you create assets. The Dream Stream Strategy is what we created to teach people how to create, master, and maintain multiple streams of income. Okay, otherwise known as assets. Okay, that's what the Dream Stream strategy does. That's it for this episode, folks. As always, let's get it, let's go, and follow for more.